want to change the world? You're at Georgia Tech. You can do that. If you want to build the Iron Man suit, you're at Georgia Tech. You can do that. If you want to play theme music during your convocation speech like a badass, we're at Georgia Tech. We can do that. I am doing that.
An epic speech that became a YouTube sensation, clicking thousands of watches, if you will, over the course of seconds. Right now, the Georgia Tech engineering student who electrified that crowd and since a nation. It's very, very, very good to have you, Nick Selby. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Neil.
You have become a rock star overnight, my friend, and I have so much to ask you. One thing is, were you reading prompter?
No, I was not.
All right,
I had
see,
the speech
this
memorized.
is very scary to me because I could never do that. But the second question, the guys behind you, the administrators, did they know that you were going to do this?
No, they did not. The only people that knew were the people who were there during the sound check.
Really? Okay, so that's interesting. So when they heard the music and then they started hearing you shout, were they getting a little antsy? Because the guy right behind you, I don't know who he is, he's smiling, but it seems like a nervous smile.
Absolutely. No, the two people behind me are the president and Dr. Braz, and both of them, I don't think either of them knew what I was going to do, but they played along with it, and they seemed to enjoy it, and they both shook my hand afterward and said they enjoyed it. So.
Well, you know, I'm not blowing you smoke, Nick. It's the best speech I had ever heard in a college environment, whether to graduates or incoming freshmen. I guess this was an incoming Georgia Tech freshman class, right? What did they think
That's
of it?
correct.
Now, I see them applauding at the end, but you don't get an idea of whether they were laughing through it. What were they doing as you were going?
Yeah, sure. So I got a few rounds of applause throughout, which was absolutely fantastic. You know, any public speaker loves that. They laughed at my jokes. They were all in all a fantastic audience. The clip at the end is hilarious, and a few of the websites that have been picking this up have kind of made fun of the fact that they just look like they don't really know what just happened, which, in all honesty, is my favorite part of the video. Because you know,
they were just shell-shocked. I wish they had cut away to all the administrators. I mean, what were they doing there? 'Cause now, you got into this slowly. I mean, it was delivered so well, but you built up to it, and the music came in, and that's when you were really going for the crescendo. But when you started slowly, what was your assignment here? Just to sort of help the freshmen, to prepare them for what life at Georgia Tech was like? What did the administrators think you were going to do?
Well, yeah. I mean, coming in, these freshmen had just gone through a very exhausting but not necessarily exciting day. So it was my job to just pump them up, get them excited about why they were here.
And you were trying to say that Georgia Tech is a great place to be, and it's a place where anything is possible. So you wrote all this yourself, even the Iron Man suit reference. That was all you.
Well, the Iron Man suit reference was me. Actually, the inspiration for the speech came from back in my hometown in Phoenix, Arizona. I learned how to public speak at Desert Vista High School speech and debate team. And one of my old coaches, Andy Stone, had performed a speech in high school, actually, or in college, on science fiction literature. And he used the big epic theme music and the "you can do that" message, and when I saw that speech, I thought that was the greatest thing in the entire world. Absolutely, it was so cool. So I asked him when I was preparing, like, hey, do you mind if I use your idea? I think it would really work well. And he very graciously agreed, and everyone loved it.
And has he gotten back to you since?
Absolutely, yeah. We just had a great conversation yesterday, actually.
You know, I think you've cracked the YouTube top 10 most requested videos. Did you have any idea it would be that big a deal?
I was really hoping that I could get a round of applause at the end of the speech.
But you were just trying to jazz them, right?
Idea.
This was all about getting folks jazzed and all. And when you left the building, I'm just always curious, like, you know, then you have to take off the gown and everything else, return as a student, go to your class. I mean, we've been trying to book you and you had classes and everything. So obviously you're an earnest student. You weren't going to break away from that. But is life normal now, or do people single you out and say, hey, dude, you were amazing?
It's not quite normal just yet. I'm enjoying my 15 minutes of fame. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And, you know, people have been asking me for, like, pictures, and some people have been asking me for autographs. I'm
I
loving
get that
it.
all the time, Nick. That's the cross I bear. Now, but for you,
sure.
what do you want to do? Now, I know you're in the School of Engineering, right?
Absolutely. So, like I said in the speech, I want to be an inventor. And what that means, to be honest, I don't really know. My dream job right now would be working for some amazing company, you know, like SpaceX or something like that, that's wanting to send people to Mars.
But didn't Microsoft
I want to do the impossible.
Because I also mentioned when I talked about you, another memory I have is of Steve Ballmer, the Microsoft CEO, when he was dancing on stage and prancing around. And
Yeah,
I
that's
loved
right.
it.
I
A
saw
lot of
that
people
clip.
criticized him, but I loved it because it broke form and it was in your face. It was funny. It was fun. And I heard that Microsoft called you.
I didn't know that. That's really amazing.
Well, you better pick up the phone then, because Microsoft called you. Now, you don't want, a lot of people looked at that and said, hey, this guy has a future in politics. Forget engineering. He could do a speech like that without teleprompter, by the way, show off. That, hey, maybe this guy is limiting himself. There are ways to advance to other things.
Well, thank you very much. I think I'm going to stick with engineering. That's my passion. I really do love politics. I follow it quite closely. To be honest, I think I could do a little bit more in engineering than I could in politics.
Ooh, very good. I'm just happy you're going to avoid, TV anchoring, the whole journalism thing. So far, so good. When you were speaking there, one other thing I wanted to ask you about. You had to be a little nervous, right? I mean, you and maybe a couple of these audio guys knew what you were about to do. I mean, you have to be worried about timing. You have to be worried about the music. You have to be worried about making you finish the crescendo the way we're showing you right now with your arms raised when you're all done. And then you just stayed there. Everything was timing. Were you worried you wouldn't get that down right? It was one shot and done.
Oh, absolutely. I was very, very nervous. I don't know if you can see in the video, there's you can see me do a kind of a head nod after the second big
yes.
And that was me just being surprised that the timing worked out. So, I mean, that was really cool. Although, but I mean, as you know in your business, Neil, being nervous, like, that's a good thing, right? You want to use those nerves. So that's all it was for me.
All right. Now, something's happening here that didn't happen when you were speaking. Your mic fell down your shirt. So
that's true. So
okay, no, that's
I'm going
fine.
to make...
Just keep it there. Who am I to tell you how to do your job? You ever going to speak again on the speaking circuit? I mean, you can get money for this, you know.
I love public speaking. It's my passion. I can't do, like, I'm not musical at all. I can't draw or dance or do anything like that. So, I mean, speaking is my creative outlet. It's my art, if you will.
Amazing.
I'm passionate about it.
Indeed you are. An amazing young man. We want to talk later because I want to hook you up with my daughter, but we'll talk about that another time. Nick Selby, absolutely amazing performance. You give us all hope. That'll do it here.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Neil.